you want to go back to your life as a lawyer, I respect that.
He doesn't mean that.
Welcome back to WD Magicast for the week of August 21st, 2022. This is episode 192. WD Magicast, the show about the mouse, the Marvels, the galaxy, and beyond. I'm your host, Matthew Graken. In this week's show, I am joined by Matt Leonard to discuss two of Marvel's current Disney Plus shows. She-Hulk, Attorney at Law, and I Am Groot. Join us to see what we think of these shows, where we think they're going, well, She-Hulk anyway, and what we thought of I Am Groot. We'll be back after these words from our friends and sponsors. And now, on with the show. It's always good to have a good lawyer in hand. It's even better whenever your lawyer can turn into a Hulk and control herself and just be really cool. And it's also even helpful if I could think of an opening speech before I actually start recording. People that help me do this is Matt Leonard, and he is here.
Don't you blame that opening on me. I had nothing to do with that.
No, I said you usually help me come up with good ones.
You make it sound like it's all my fault. That you want to start this show over.
Let's start it over.
Okay.
Marvel Studios has brought us another fantastic episode. Well, we'll find out if it's fantastic. We've gotten one episode done.
That's two. You want to go for thirds?
No, because I'm leaving this all in.
Oh, good. You want me to introduce this one for? Maybe it's best if I should.
I think you should introduce it. You've been dying for this.
Gosh, see, that was a can of worms. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Guess the Height. Okay, seriously, a good opening for this show. For months now, we've been savagely anticipating the arrival of one of my personal favorite Marvel characters to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And this past week, Disney Plus gave us that character with the premiere of her own series. And this week, Matt Graken, your host, has invited me, Matt Leonard, your not host, to discuss one of my absolute favorite characters in all of Marvel Comics, She-Hulk, Attorney at Law. How was that for an introduction?
I'll take it. I'll take it.
Okay.
Because as the audience may or may not hear, that was better than anything I came up with.
No, leave yours in. I like it.
I will leave them in.
I think people should know what goes into making this show.
A letter opener.
Yeah, a letter opener.
And a picture of a sandwich on my wall.
Why is there a picture of a burger on the wall? Burgers.
Who am I?
What do you want to talk
What
about?
are you doing?
She-Hulk.
Who am I? What am I doing? Am I wearing any pants?
Why is there a picture of a burger on the wall? Let's talk. Let's talk a little She-Hulk.
Let's talk She-Hulk. I'm ready to talk She-Hulk. So it's Mark Ruffalo's heavily featured in this one as the Hulk. But I think we're not going to be seeing as much of him going forward for a while.
No, I got that impression as well.
And I think that ties into, you can use the Hulk, you can't feature the Hulk.
Right.
Is why, we are with where we are with the Hulk character. Tatiana Maslany, I loved her in Orphan Black, and I'm already loving her in this role.
She's adorable. I like her.
She's great. She brings so much.
Yeah.
I meant to check beforehand. How many Emmys has this woman won?
I've never heard of her until now, but that's also because I'm living in a box. As we talked about in a previous episode, I haven't watched a sitcom. I haven't watched a television show since, God, I don't even know the last modern day television show that I watched.
Let's see here. She's nominated. One. The Orphan Black came out in 2013. It's a BBC America production. So it's not a BBC production. Done through their Canadian arm. She
wait. I just want to run that by. I just want to. Yeah. I know. We'll get to talking She-Hulk in a second, but I just want to circle back to this. BBC America is Canadian.
Well, their connection with their stuff in Canada, yeah.
Moving on. We're gonna come back to that.
Yes.
Maybe not during the show, but we're gonna come. BBC America is Canadian. Okay.
Well, it's got connections in Canada.
I don't know. It's okay. French,
not directly Canadian themselves. But yeah, she was nominated 3 times and won once.
Okay.
15, 16, and 18.
Okay.
For outstanding lead actress in a drama series.
Okay.
So, and that's for Primetime Emmys. And she's gotten several nominations beyond that from other award things for her work. She's fantastic to watch. She brings a lot to her characters. And so whenever she was cast as She-Hulk, I was excited.
Good. Yeah, I like her. I like her as Jen Walters, and I like what she brings to She-Hulk as well.
Yeah, she did well. They definitely cleaned up the CGI from the initial trailer, which I
thought she looked good. I thought Hulk looked really off to me. Something about Hulk seemed very, particularly in the shoulders. The shoulders seemed to be, I don't know, not connected to the rest of him. Yeah, hunched a little.
Yeah, I mean that's. Yeah, I picked that up as well. That he seemed a little not as straight standing as he.
Yeah, and I don't know if that was it
Endgame.
That might have been a CGI thing. It might have just been something that Ruffalo was doing, and it just translated weird. But yeah, he seemed very hunched.
How they went about the transformation for her to get her powers was a little different. It's like a sped up way of getting to the same result.
Same place, yeah.
Yeah. But I want to say And if you haven't watched the episode yet, we're going to be going into detail about things that we saw. So just prepare yourselves, or just pause, watch, pause us, watch the episode. It's only 27 minutes long.
Only half an hour, yeah.
And then come back and
listen to Matt screw up the introduction all over again.
Absolutely. Yes, I think it was the spaceship that showed up. People are saying that's going to link into some other stuff that we have coming up, primarily the whole Secret Invasion, Secret Wars.
Yeah.
It's quite possible. Someone was saying it was the spaceship from Ragnarok.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of things saying it's a lead into a possible World War Hulk movie, or some sort of World War Hulk project. I don't know. The spaceship suddenly showing up was one of two things that bothered me. In that I felt it was sort of like it came up and I, as an audience member, went, well, what the heck was that? And then and they kind of blew it off. It was like, well, like Bruce was like, I got to investigate that. No, I'm thinking if a spaceship shows up and tries to kill you, and like even for Jennifer, I'd be like, well, I want to find out who those guys are because they're the reason. It just seemed very uneven to me. Like it just seemed the motive. Forget about that. Like I know this big major thing just happened, but we're gonna forget about that and move to something else. And so that seemed a little. Even if it does tie into something else later on, it seemed like a really sloppy way to go about doing it, Well,
true. It's like, don't mind that fact that we burned the entire village down and the rest of the movie takes place in the village that hasn't burned down.
Right. Yeah.
It's... I thought there could have just been a much simpler way about it. Again, I'm sure it ties into something at some point somewhere. But... yeah, I mean, you could have just had a deer run across the road and just her swerve to avoid the deer. I mean, it's just something simple. Because when Doctor Strange drove off the side of the road, it wasn't to avoid a spaceship. So, I guess to make it a little different than Doctor Strange's incident. I don't know. But yeah, anyway. Moving past that, only 2 incidences of her breaking the fourth wall, which they said
I think so.
It's going to be a kind of a running thing. Is that something normal for the comics for her?
All the time. She and Deadpool is the other one. They are the two characters who are known for breaking the fourth wall. She will constantly address the audience. It's almost a running thing in the She-Hulk comics. She will she will talk to the writer of the comic, or she will there's issues of the comics where she'll literally go down the comic book will end with her in the Marvel offices going, what are you guys doing to me? Why am I why did you do this to me, or why are you saying this about me? It's not true. So yeah, nice. It's very funny. Or she'll she'll be doing something. Something will happen that'll be somewhat out of character. Some character will act out of character, and she'll be like, "Well, this never would have happened if Marv were here," or this would never happen in a Marv Wolfman comic. Marv Wolfman being like one of the great She-Hulk writers.
Mm-hmm.
Or, I'm trying to think who's the other one. There's a couple of them that she'll refer back to people who have written her comics, or she'll refer back to or she'll turn and she'll say something to the audience. So yeah, breaking the fourth wall is a regular thing in the She-Hulk comics. I'd be very disappointed if she hadn't broken the fourth wall a couple times, and I'm glad to see them put that in and keep that in.
I think a lot of the true fans were waiting for that.
Yeah.
And you brought up, I was questioning how would this work in a movie, but you brought up Deadpool, and I'm like, okay, that's right. They did it in Deadpool, and it worked okay in there. My only concern, though, is like, okay, but that was a Deadpool movie. You put She-Hulk in an Avenger movie, will that still work all right?
No, well, here's the other half of that. She-Hulk doesn't break the fourth wall in Avengers comics.
Okay.
It is something that is unique to She-Hulk comics. She-Hulk in Avengers comic will not step out of the comic and turn to the audience. She won't suddenly do a soliloquy or anything. You know, she'll be in the Avenger, but She-Hulk in her own comic constantly breaking the fourth wall.
All right, so that's something we'll expect more from the series than if she goes into someone else's sandbox.
Right.
All right, awesome. Yeah, so we got that. We got the mastery of her powers and the I love Hulk is walking around with a binder of in case if someone else ends up like this. This is what you have to do. Here's a 15-year process. He does
research. Yeah. He's a scientist. He does research.
Well, he even has like a graph for it. I thought that was brilliant. I loved it. I absolutely love. I love the banter between the two of them.
Yeah. They've got a good chemistry. They've got a very good chemistry together.
Yeah, it played out well. And this Tony Stark bar. I like that a little emotional touch for Hulk.
Yeah.
I thought that was really a really nice moment.
And I don't know if a couple of people have noticed this that She-Hulk is wearing a Led Zeppelin shirt.
Yes.
And it's funny. I was reading some stupid article where they're like, "Oh, Bruce wouldn't wear a Led Zeppelin shirt." Like, it's Tony's shirt, you moron. It's
not Bruce's.
It's Tony's shirt. She's wearing Tony Stark's Led Zeppelin shirt,
which thankfully does not rip.
Yeah.
And then just and Mark Ruffalo pulls off the bit so well with him going, wait a second, it's still Jennifer? Wait, there's no one else talking to you? Just go, no. And in case if anyone's wondering, that is the comic book character. That's not something that they switched in a modernization for anything or changed the character at all. That goes back to She-Hulk from 1970 whenever she came out.
Mm-hmm.
So this is nothing unusual. This is just an actual page to screen translation of the character.
Yep.
I couldn't figure out who the character in the courtroom was that she had to battle.
Well, that's a character. That's Titania. She's a
Titania
villain. Yeah. And that's another thing that really bothered me with the show was like you got to the two most exciting things that happened in the whole storyline, which is the ship shooting at them, and then her showing up at the end, and you just kind of glossed over those, and we move on to, and I'm sure Titania will come back to that next week, but it was like, well, that would have been nice to explain or give the audience, because the only reason I know that is because I've read a little bit about the show, and I know that Jamil is playing Titania, but
okay.
if I had just been watching the show, I wouldn't have had any idea who that was, and I wish they had been a little more on the nose with that and explained what I was looking at.
Because I didn't recognize her because they put her more clothing on.
You and I have said to each other off mic that this really needed a second episode, a 2-episode premiere, and I understand you don't want to do that with all of the Marvel shows, but every once in a while you got to realize that no, this one needed a second episode to follow it up and just to hook us. I think one to introduce the character and one to hook us.
Right, and you have enough. It's a 9-episode run.
Right.
So if you did 2 in the first, that would help just establish it, I think, just a little bit more. Because I'm looking at some of these reviews online, and to be frank, I'm actually kind of surprised. I'm actually kind of surprised at the ratings that it's getting on IMDb. It's sitting at a 5.5.
Yeah.
And that bothers me.
Yeah.
That bothers me. Because I thoroughly enjoyed this episode.
I enjoyed it, but I thought it was also kind of weak in a couple places too.
It was. It could
or a
use
little
more.
uneven.
It wasn't a first episode of Loki. It wasn't the first episode of Moon Knight. But I still thought it was an entertaining, fun, smart episode. It did its job. It introduced me to the main character, who I just fell in love with right away.
It introduced me to the main character, but it needed to introduce me to a little bit more than the main character.
I think that is one of the shortcomings of it, is that you only get introduced to the main character.
Right.
Not her friends, none of her legal team, none of any of her other world, which I would assume happens in episode 2, which we will be getting the day after this episode drops. Thank you, Marvel, for shifting She-Hulk from off of Wednesdays, putting on Thursdays, so that way when WD Magic Cast drops, you get the refresher and then you get a new episode. They did that. I don't want to say they did it for us, but it's hard to say that they didn't do it for us. So yeah, we shall see where things go from here. Even the person that they were prosecuting,
right. It would have been nice if that even went somewhere.
Yeah, we got a little more,
which I'm sure will tie into Titania's arrival. I mean, that's.
Yeah, it's kind of weird that she just randomly shows up at that courtroom.
Right.
Like we're missing some sort of connection.
Right.
Which maybe it's a mystery, and that's something that we're going to be looking into. I don't know. I mean, that's pure speculation. I don't want to speculate too much on this.
Yeah.
But it is just the way they went about the things, and just again, Tatiana's portrayal. At the end in the courtrooms, her friend's like, "Oh, you need to do the thing," which I'm surprised. Okay, so we missed the point that she did tell her friends about this whole thing.
Well, she said that Bruce knows and Nikki knows, her best friend knows.
Okay.
But I don't think that anybody else knows.
Well, now everyone in that courtroom knows.
Now everybody in the courtroom knows.
So she, her friend's like, take the shoes off. She's like, okay. And she transforms right before she's going to give her closing arguments, takes out Titania, switches back. She's all disheveled. She kind of quickly fixes up her hair. And now, and she just goes right back to lawyer mode. I actually like that. I thought that was just like, okay, I did my superhero thing, but let me get back to the important reason why we're really here.
Right.
It speaks to the character, and something that she kept on reiterating is like, I don't want to be a superhero. I want to just be a lawyer. And her cousin Bruce, the whole kept on saying, well, it's going to happen whether you want it or not. And in that brief moment, they kind of give you the glimpse of that. But again, I think it was too much of a glimpse. Not enough of a glimpse. I think someone else has said this to me. Why are they formatting these shows like if it was a TV show? You could have run this for 36 minutes. Give a few extra minutes. You could have given us a little bit more on this stuff. It's not like you have to worry about fitting it into a time slot with commercials and lining all that up. No, why couldn't you just give us those few extra minutes, and you probably could have fleshed it out a little bit better. But on a whole, I enjoyed it. I don't have like any real super negative to just say, oh, this is trash, this is horrible. I am genuinely looking forward to the rest of this series.
Yeah.
But that enough. Tell me what your take on everything was.
I think we've talked about. I think we've talked about most of my stuff or my thoughts on it as we've gone along. Yeah, I mean, it was a great start. It was. I thought she was. I thought she was fantastic, and of course, like I said, I love She-Hulk and I love the character, so I'm still eager to watch the show. I just thought the first episode itself was just a little uneven, and it zigged when it should have zagged, or it zagged when it should have. Just stuff that I felt should have been addressed was just sort of like, that just was sort of blown past and ignored. Even the fact that She-Hulk, they kind of addressed it a little bit. The fact that She-Hulk was kind of adapted. She adapted to being Hulk faster than Bruce did. I felt like there was more there that could have been explored that they didn't do. And so that was a little bit of a frustration. I know of a couple of. It's funny. I say I've wanted to go in this with a fresh eyes and not know what's coming up, and yet at the same time I happen to know one or two things that are. I know of two characters who are coming into the show, which if you're a She-Hulk fan, are exciting. I'm characters who I'm excited to see show up, and I know that they've teased a couple of other minor characters and a couple of cameos. So
one of them I'm really looking forward to.
Huh?
One of them I'm really looking forward to. It's
I know.
Legal buddy.
Yeah.
Well, not buddy, but
the other Marvel lawyer.
Yep.
Yeah. Foggy Nelson. See, that would be fun. Actually, I would love.
That would be great.
I love because I thought he was really good, and I can't remember the actor's name, but the guy who played him, I've only seen one or two episodes. I think I only watched the first 2 or 3 episodes of Daredevil, but I liked the guy playing Foggy. I thought he was really good. I actually liked Jon Favreau as Foggy too. He was one of the high points of the original Daredevil movie. I thought he made a good Foggy Nelson, but he also makes a good Happy Hogan. So
I like him. I'm going more with Happy on him. Eldon Henson.
Oh, is that who plays Foggy?
Is who plays Foggy in the Netflix Daredevil series. I haven't heard if they signed him back for the upcoming Daredevil series yet. Daredevil Born
I'm
Again.
Sure they will. I'm sure they.
I think they really.
I'd be very surprised if they didn't. Foggy's too important to Daredevil's story, or too important to Matt to not be signed on. But I'd like to see him show up and see him. That's actually a really good character that you can. That's the idea that I like with the Marvel movies. I like that. Not so much when the big characters cross over, but I love when the minor characters cross over. I love when the scientist from Iron Man shows up again in spoiler alert. The scientist from Iron Man shows up in I'll just say one of the other Marvel movies. And it's literally a 2-line part in the original Iron Man, but he shows up as a slightly more major character in one of the other Marvel movies, and I love that. Gary Shandling was the other one. I thought it was great. Yes. He's the senator in Iron Man 2, and then he shows up again in Captain America. I mean, I thought, oh, that's such a great twist that I didn't see coming. I thought that was fantastic. So whenever it's a minor character who shows up,
even the agent, this Treadwell.
Oh yeah, Sitwell.
Sitwell.
Yeah, that's another one. It's such a great, and then also to have the reveal that you had with him.
Yeah,
I mean, that was fantastic. And I think I think the reporter from Iron Man is in either Infinity War or, and I think she's in Infinity War or maybe Endgame.
The blonde.
Yeah.
Lizzie Bibb. She is in Iron Man 2. She actually shows she's in What If.
Oh really? I still haven't watched What If.
She's in 2 episodes of What If. No, I think that's it.
I thought she was. I thought I read somewhere that she was in one of them. But that's another
At
character.
least not that she's getting credit for on IMDb.
Yeah, see, it's a character you can drop into. I thought she did something else.
Yeah, Iron Man 2, and What If? That's her Marvel credits.
I remember seeing her somewhere else, and I'm trying to think where. But she's in a movie with she's in Tag with Jeremy Renner too. I know that, but that's neither here nor there. But I love that's the crossovers that I love to see. Not so much the big ones, but I love when like the smaller characters cross over and show up because that's more interesting to me.
It kind of fleshes out or connects the threads even better than the major character, so on. But you have just the more everyday characters.
Yeah.
Interconnecting. Like Maria Hill was another one that, she would kind of pop up here and there, and she wasn't ever like a big character so much. But whenever she did show up, it was nice to see her, pop up from place to place.
Yeah.
But yeah, that I mean, if Foggy just kind of strolls into the courtroom and is sitting at the opposite desk, I would be so happy. So yeah, we got a number of good things coming, and I want to say, hopefully, I mean, this is me being optimistic, that why episode 1 was so maybe condensed and rushed is because they just wanted to get the backstory out of the way,
right,
to keep everything moving forward instead of focusing on, all right, 2 episodes put to the origin story. We got 9 episodes, so that's 7 episodes left to be able to tell the story. Instead of giving us 8 episodes to tell everything. Again, that's just me being an optimist about
right.
hope, being hopeful. But I thought they did a nice job. I think everything looked good. The characters played well with each other.
There's something you said earlier about the fact that they didn't really introduce the other characters in the show, where her friends, and I believe I know the reason for that, but I don't want to talk too much into the future because I think I'd be spoiling some things.
Okay, fair enough. So yeah, this will definitely be something that we're keeping an eye on. I think, to be fair, we should definitely come around to episode 2 for next week. See if we could work that out somehow, and just to see. Okay, now we've gotten 2 episodes in our belt. How everything plays out. So on that note, do you want to go to our other show that dropped for Marvel?
Guess the height?
Yes. So Guess the Height, She-Hulk edition.
Oh shoot, you're serious.
I am serious.
Awesome. I love Guess the Height.
We still haven't come up with the drop for this yet.
We need a theme song for Guess the Height. Guess the Height. It's Guess the Height.
Ba-dum-bum.
Yeah.
I'll have to cut that and make a loop of it. Guess the Height.
Oh, I'll come up with something for Guess the Height. I'll come up with a theme song. I keep saying that, but I won't. But I will.
Who's taller, Miss America or... Actually, no, I can't do that. Never mind.
What? What are you doing to me?
Right number of character. I was going to do America Chavez, but I
know who that is.
Yes, but her height is unrevealed.
Oh.
So let's go. This actually would be a little more.
We can look up the actress.
I was going to say I do have a good challenging one here. So Hang on. Yes.
Hang on. You're changing the rules on me. Are we going by you're actually asking me about the characters, not the actors?
Right. I'm going with the characters in this one, the
Okay.
She-Hulk edition.
This is slightly different than how we normally play this game, considering we've only played this
played
game
it once.
All right, shoot me.
All right.
What you got?
Let's go with. He's from Wakanda, but I'm doing it anyway just because it's a good comparison. So Manape versus Hulk. Who is taller?
Between Man-Ape and Hulk?
Yes.
Hulk.
This is a tricky one.
Really?
They're the same height.
Oh, are they?
Yeah. They're both 7 foot.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Weight-wise, Hulk has got a little bit on him.
Sure.
Where Manape is 355 pounds. Hulk is a slim, slightly bloated, 1,150 pounds.
Wow. But Hulk is bigger than Thing. I know that because Thing ain't that tall. He's actually Thing's only like 6 foot.
Do I have Thing in here?
I think Ben is only 6 foot in the comics.
I believe you are right from something else. I don't have them in my reference book here. Because this is more of Avengers. It doesn't necessarily go into Fantastic Four.
And I believe Reed is 6'1".
I want to say you're right on those.
That I remember reading that and being very surprised that Reed Richards was taller than Thing, or was taller than Ben Grimm. But, the way the characters are drawn, that's not always... Just because Reed on paper is 6 foot, is taller than Ben, doesn't mean Reed is always drawn as being taller than Ben, depending on who the artist is.
And Ben isn't always, yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't always flow that properly.
Yeah.
Ben
is sometimes drawn as being the same size as Hulk.
Right. That they're very comparable. And Wolverine sometimes is as tall as some other characters, and he's one of the shortest characters in the MCU.
Right. Hulk is sometimes drawn as being as tall as Captain America, and that's not true. Wolverine is actually supposed to be like one of the shortest characters in the Marvel universe. He's only supposed to be like 5'5".
Something like that, yeah. 5'3".
So.
So I could look that one up. Because that one I'm pretty sure he's in here. Weezer? You named a character Wizard, really?
Yes.
No, Wolverine is not. How? Wolverine was part of the Avengers. He's not in the Avenger book. What? Anyway.
This is during the time when Marvel was pretending the X-Men didn't exist. That book was...
Yeah. Guess the height. Who is taller, She-Hulk or Tatiana? Titania.
She-Hulk is taller than Titania, because she's like 6'7".
And Titania is?
Shorter. She's only 6'3", 6'5", 5'9".
6'6".
Oh, really?
Yep.
But
only a height difference.
Was I right? Was She-Hulk? She-Hulk is 6'7"?
6'7". You got that one right on the nose. Ding, ding, ding.
Yay.
Let's see here. And someone that will be appearing.
Okay.
I guess let's go back to the original rules. Guess the height of Abomination.
The character or the character of Abomination?
Yes.
Not actually. Okay.
What actually? Hold on. See,
he's
damn
7'1". Is 7'1"? I think he's taller. Is he taller than Hulk?
No.
He's really. Again, I guess it depends on who the artist is.
Yes.
So he's definitely bigger than She-Hulk. So he's 6'8".
Yes.
No, really.
6'8".
Oh wow, that was a guess.
And only 980 pounds.
No, well.
see here. Who else can? That's coming up. No, he's down. He's not in there. I'm trying to think of somebody else that is connected here. But smart, I would have done a little more research. All right. More recently, though, guess the height of Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange is usually depicted as being tall. I'm gonna say either 6'1" or 6'2".
Big one.
6'1".
6'2".
Shoot. All right,
Yes,
6'2". Okay,
6'2".
yes, I was right then. I said 6'2".
Yeah, there you go. 6'2".
There we go. You can edit it later to make it sound like I said 6'2".
All right.
You can just take where I
all
said
the editing that I put into these episodes.
Yeah, that's
All right,
great.
two more. And they're somewhat related. For the upcoming series, Echo. Guess the height of Echo.
In the comics, you mean?
In the comics.
In the comics. I've never actually even seen Echo in the comics, but I think she's on the shorter side. I'm gonna say she's 6, not 6. I was gonna say 5'5", 5'6".
Nope.
Higher or lower?
Higher.
Up. 5'7".
Nope.
5'9".
Yep.
Really?
Yeah, she's not that short.
Okay. I've never seen her in the comics. I don't
Neither
know.
have I.
I only know Echo from the Hawkeye series. I don't know her from the comics. I've never seen that character in the comics. I'm vaguely aware of her, but I've never actually seen her.
I was not familiar with her at all until watching the Hawkeye
But
series.
I loved her in Hawkeye. I'm excited to see more of her. Hawkeye has so far, and I've said this before on the show, Hawkeye has so far been my favorite Disney Plus Marvel show.
They did a very good job with that.
Yeah, that's the one I'm most likely to rewatch of all of them.
I thought that would have been gone to Loki.
No, Loki, maybe when they get to season 2, Loki might get there. I was disappointed at the end of Loki because it ended on that kind of cliffhanger. But Hawkeye, I thought was a real nice, tight story. It kept me coming back. It kept me surprised. It never did what I thought. In a good way, it never did what I thought it was going to do. It was always a surprise or a twist that I didn't see coming, and there was a lot of really well done misdirection.
And you allowed Jeremy Renner to act.
Yeah, and it gave him a moment. It gave him sort of the breathing space he needed to develop his character, which they kind of hadn't. And I thought she was really good too. I liked her. I thought Vincent D'Onofrio was really good as Kingpin.
Oh, he's always been fantastic as Kingpin.
Yeah. And I liked the character of Echo, and I liked her arc through the show. I even liked Yelena, who irritated me I didn't like her in Black Widow, but I loved her in Hawkeye. I even liked her in Hawkeye.
Oh, don't get me started on Black Widow. Florence Pugh.
Let me do this one. 5'7".
What?
Florence Pugh is 5'7" or 5'8". I'm gonna say 5'8" for Florence Pugh.
Let me see if I find out for you.
Yeah, come on. Florence Pugh height.
Florence Pugh is. What'd you say?
I said 5'8".
Well over.
Well, really, well over?
Yeah, you're well over her.
I'm well over.
You're too high. You're too high.
I'm too high. I thought you meant she was well over. I'm like, no, there's no way she's more. Okay, so I'm gonna say 5'5".
Almost.
5'4".
Yes.
Wow. They make her look taller in the movies. Nice. Should we talk about how tall is Groot? I actually know this one in the comics.
Well,
I kind of know this one.
Which form?
Yeah, see, I don't see. I think we're talking about Baby Groot. It changes, but I believe the traditional answer for Groot is that he is over 7 foot. He's like 7'1" or 7'2", something like that. In the comics, the sort of adult Groot.
How is he in my book? This book has got such a weird array of. Here we go.
Got Wizard in your book.
It's got Wizard. It does have Groot.
Okay.
It says variable, but it gives a very definitive height. And yes, you are correct. It is over 7 foot.
Okay. But you said it's over 7 foot, but it's neither of the other two. I said 7'1" or 7'2". So I'm assuming I'm wrong.
Not even close.
Not even close.
Let me put it this way. Not even close.
Oh, wow, really?
Yes.
So if I said 7'4", I should really go, because I didn't say 7'4" yet. Notice I didn't actually say 7'4".
You did not.
You want me to go even higher, is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Like 7'7", maybe?
According to the book.
Yeah.
You got to keep going.
7'10"?
Double digits. According to this book.
So it's not even this like well over even like over 8 feet is what you're saying.
Yeah. I mean, you would if you said 7, but changed it from feet to another form of measurement in metric, you'd be correct.
Oh. So he's like what, 10 feet?
Keep going.
11 feet.
Keep going.
No. Your book is full of lies. What is it? What does it say? What does it say?
23.
No.
23 feet, but is variable.
23 feet, but no. I don't like your book. Speaking of, you don't have to show me. That's
I'm
fine.
showing it to you. Just.
I don't buy that. 23 feet, it says in his book, but I don't buy that. But that was supposed to be a lead into our next topic.
Yes.
Yeah.
Segway's gone wrong.
Tonight's topic, Segway has gone wrong. Well, considering how we started this show, the segue went about as good as the introduction.
Yeah. This is why we can't do back-to-back episodes, can we? In the same week.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the I Am Groot series. You just watched them. I watched them yesterday.
I watched them literally just as we were going to record. I even watched, because I was so far behind, I watched 2 at the same time, which I don't recommend. There's a little.
You missed so many nuances.
Don't do that. It's not good. It's not healthy. You'll go blind.
So we watched them yesterday, and we all were cracking up and enjoying them, to the point that my youngest one, this morning when I got home from Callan's football game, he was sitting there on the couch watching them again.
Yeah. They're fun. They're very family friendly. And I think what was weird, I don't remember what was the first one I watched was the one where he takes a bath. There's 5.
That's the same first one that we watched too, strangely enough.
So the first one I watched, and I sort of had that sort of weird nerd, comic book guy moment where, well, how come Groot isn't with the rest of the Guardians of the Galaxy, and where are the rest of the Guardians of the Galaxy? And I started to kind of have that sort of jarring, this doesn't make any sense. And I immediately pulled myself out of that and stopped and wait, no. That's not what this is. That's not what this is. This really is just almost more of like a character study
Yep.
drop this character into this environment and see how he reacts, and let us enjoy that. And so it was nice to sort of let go of my nerd for a moment and just be
Just
an audience
enjoy
member
Groot.
and just enjoy the show.
Because that episode, one of the immediate things that I thought of, whenever he started growing all the leaves, is like, oh my gosh, Groot is a chia pet.
Yeah,
And they just had, and I think that's exactly what they thought of. What if Groot was a chia pet and just one from there?
right.
It is the same digital model of Groot that they used from the movies.
Right.
They didn't dumb it down. They didn't reconstruct it. They plucked out the code and put it in these environments. But to answer your new nerd question, one of the episodes they do answer where are the Guardians. Actually, two of the episodes, two or three of the episodes.
I'm trying to think. Rocket appears in one of them.
And Drax.
Yeah, Drax is sort of in the background of one.
You have not the Milano. What's the new one? I keep forgetting the.
I don't remember what the name of the ship is, but you have their ship. They're on their ship.
Groot comes off the ship and stuff. So you have, like, they're there without them having to be a distraction.
Right. I think that there are three that take place on the ship, and two that are just Groot on his own.
Yeah.
Yeah. You on some weird planet, and it's fun. You just sort of turn your brain off and enjoy them for a few minutes. They're short. They say 5 minutes, but it's a Marvel thing, so it's like 2 minutes of cartoon and 3 minutes of credits. But that's.
And a couple have a post-credit scene. I think it's like 2 of them.
I was in a rush because I didn't do my homework before the podcast, so I'll go back and I'll watch the post-credit scenes.
Yeah, the Opus one, there's a post-credit scene. And I want to say there's one more, but I couldn't tell you which one it is. But I thought they're all just fun little just Marvel getaway moments. You can enjoy something Marvel without having to
do all your homework.
Do any homework, no anything other than this is Groot. All he says is I am Groot, and he's on a spaceship. Have fun.
Yeah.
Just fun, quick little romps. Just sit back and enjoy. The animation's great. It is Vin Diesel.
Yeah, I should check to see if that was. Yep, that is Vin Diesel voicing him the entire time.
Mm-hmm. The one episode, Rocket shows up. It's Bradley Cooper again.
Yep.
And I liked. I got a kick out of the moment where Rocket is standing there, and Groot hands him something. Rocket's, what is this? What is this? And he pulls out bifocals.
Yeah, I like that.
What's all these let me see this here. I can't read this. What I'm trying to make this. He's putting on bifocals and straighten them out to read this. An enhanced being.
And I think what I love most about that is, to my mind, Rocket is just the kind of guy that I think even Rocket knows that he doesn't need the glasses. He just puts them on for the effect of, making himself look intelligent, or making himself. These are my smart glasses. I put when I want to make myself look smarter than I am. I totally see him justifying it in his own mind, having these things on him and pulling them out and putting them on, just to make himself look more intelligent than he is.
I think that's one of my favorite of them, because of just all the nice little moments in it. And whoever came up with the idea of, well, Groot put a hole in the spaceship. How is he going to fix it? Well, what else are you going to use to fix a spaceship?
Duct tape.
Duct tape. I just, again, it's those just really off the beat little pieces that they throw in there, in each of them.
They play almost more like a Pixar short than a, and I don't mean that I mean that as a compliment.
Yeah.
They've got a vibe to them and a feeling to them that's more in tune with like Pixar than anything that Marvel's done. So I like them.
No, absolutely. It tells us as much as we need in a short little story, minimal dialogue. It's if most of them, it's anything that said is just "I am Groot,"
Right.
except for the one with Rocket and the dancing one. There is a quick little.
There's a character talks in that too.
Yeah, but it's just quick little dance references. It's not.
Yeah.
No real exposition is said. That one threw me with its ending. I wasn't expecting that. But yeah, it's they're quick little bits. I definitely would suggest watching them. On a whole, how would you grade those out of 10?
Out of 10, there were only 5 of them.
Out of a scale of 1 to 10, how would you?
Oh, out of a scale of 1 to 10.
A scale of 1 to 10, Mr. Rennie, how would you?
No, I give them an A.
Okay. That's a solid. That's a good one. That's a good answer.
No, they're fun, and they're they're not gonna you're not gonna sit there and go, well, that's 2 minutes of my life that I can't have back, because it's only 2 minutes of your life, and if you're sitting there watching cartoons, it's a good way to spend 2 or 3 minutes of your time.
Yeah, you can bang them all out relatively quickly, and it's something that it's very easy to rewatch them.
Yeah.
I will agree with your A, and I'll give them a I Am Groot as my
very good,
my grade level on that, and highly suggest them as well. So two relatively solid things from Marvel, and it's one we got the entirety of, and we can enjoy on our leisure, and the other one will be hopefully enjoying for the next 8 weeks.
8 weeks. Wow.
Which will have Andor drop in the middle of that too.
Nice.
With 3 episodes. I see you 2 episodes, and I want to up you with 3 episodes. Haha.
How many episodes of it is that? Is there's just 3 episodes of Andor, or more?
They're releasing 3 on day 1.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Where? Why they won't let me in? I want to say there's 12 episodes in total.
Okay.
But it's not letting me. My phone is failing me.
That's all right.
Now let me pull it up.
And they're also re-releasing Rogue One to theaters to tie into Andor.
In all theaters or just IMAX? I heard IMAX, but I'm assuming it's going to be
IMAX. I think it's just in IMAX.
Which doesn't do me any good because that's hardly anything around me anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we got a lot of content coming up. And then I'm looking forward to all of it. I am definitely looking forward to it all. Favorite moment from I Am Groot? Go.
What's that?
Lightning round. What's your favorite moment from I Am Groot?
Oh gosh. Well, favorite moment, I agree with you. I love Rocket just putting the glasses on. But if you're asking me my favorite short out of the 5 of them.
All right, yeah, favorite short of the 5 of them.
I don't know. I like them each for different reasons. I think.
Do you have a least favorite short? Not saying that's a bad, but if you're again to weight them, which one is the one that you say, okay, that one is?
I think really, if I were to pick a favorite, I think I liked the Groot takes a bath the most. I think was just sort of the funniest of them. My least favorite, I don't know. Maybe the dancing one, probably my least favorite. And then the others, I actually liked the one with the one with the little aliens, because obviously it was kind of a play on Gulliver's Travels, but I also thought that was the one that I really looked at and I thought, well, this is like a Pixar cartoon, or that was the one I really watched and thought this feels like a Pixar cartoon.
That had the most story to it. Because if you measure out a story with the introduction, the climax, and then the ending, you get all of the build up. You get that whole thing going in that one, and I think that is one of my favorites, and the little guffaw that happens with that. But it's, and you get such a range from Groot out of that as well. He starts off doing one thing, he goes and does something else. You have the Gulliver's Travels moment there where he gets attacked. And then there's the resolution, which I thought was beautiful, and then the unexpected moment too. Like 90% unexpected.
Yeah.
But then you have the little resolution past that. So yeah, I think that in a story mode, that's probably one of the most completed parts. So on a whole, I think the little guys is my favorite. For me, my least favorite, again, not saying that's bad, but the one that I'm like okay with was the Groot's First Steps.
Yeah.
That one I'm like, all right, it's fine. It didn't have as much humor in it as some of the other ones. Like you said, the take a bath, Groot takes a bath, where that one is just, okay, let's just, how silly can we get with this, and keep it enjoyable. And then of course the opus that, where he's drawing things that he's going through these elaborate schemes to create something. So yeah. So on a whole, again, that worked out well. All right, and then I guess on that note, we'll wrap things up. Unless if there's anything more that you want to.
I got nothing. I wish I did have something to talk about. I got nothing.
I would say it's the Star Wars Lego Vacation episode, but I haven't watched it.
I haven't watched that yet. I keep forgetting to watch that.
I started watching that, and then other things happened. So yeah, we'll have to get to that. But God willing, we all meet again in She-Hulk episode 2, The Search for More of
Storyline
and characters.
There are characters coming up that I'm very excited about.
Me too. And there's going to be more. And again, I'm going to go with the guys that they just wanted to get the origin story over and done with quickly.
Yeah.
So that way they can move on with everything else. I know they had trouble pacing this series. Hopefully that's not something that we notice as the series continues, because they were trying to figure out which angle do we make this show. Is it more serious? Is it more comedy? How do we script this, or how do we edit it? So hopefully that isn't a thing to come, and just everything plays out much better. And I have a feeling it will. My faith and trust is still in Marvel, because they haven't led me in any direction otherwise yet. And we'll go from there. So Thank you for joining us again.
Thank you for having me.
My pleasure, and we will be talking soon.
All right.
Well, another one in the books. Thank you, Matt Leonard, for joining me as we discuss She-Hulk and I Am Groot. A lot going on there. Let us know what you thought of these two Marvel series. Our Facebook page, which is fixed now. All you have to do, simple address now. You don't have to worry about the show notes because I'm going to tell you it now, but still be in the show notes. Our Facebook page is facebook.com/WDMagicCast. On Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter, we're also at WDMagicCast. Don't forget to sign up to the YouTube page, where you also get the audio version of this, and we got some other stuff coming there as well. You can leave a voice message through the Anchor app or Anchor.fm website, or record a message electronically and email it, along with if you have any questions or suggestions for the show. All those emails can be directed to email@wdmagiccast.com. You can also, links to all these are in the show notes if you need help. I want to thank you for your time. I know how little time we all have these days, and knowing that we get to spend some of that time together really, truly does mean a lot to me. I cannot thank you enough. Thank you. But I can't ask, please, really like the show, make sure you share out on the social networks, and also go to Apple Podcasts, go to Spotify, leave a rating and review there. The more rating reviews we get there, the more they're going to do on their part to promote the show, help the show grow that way. It really does help us out. Sharing on the socials, giving us rating reviews, it means a lot to us, and it's the best way for us to get the feedback, to know what we can do for the show, how we improve. We have all 5-star reviews on the show at the moment. Truly blessed. Cannot say thank you enough for all that. It blows my mind. After over 4 years of doing this, 192 episodes, and we're still just getting 5-star reviews. Thank you. Keep them coming though. I not to be greedy, but keep them coming, because the more the better. Make sure you tell your friends, like I said, share it out on social networks that you're listening to the episode. Post a link to the episode. Don't forget to tag us in there so we can say thank you. And really, the more people that know about the show, the better the show can be. The more that we'll be able to bring you. Won't believe in a big Disney family, and so do I. Don't forget to subscribe to the show actually while you're at it, while you're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or whatever podcast service you use. Make sure you subscribe so this way you always know when new episodes are posted. And while you're at it, consider becoming a premium subscriber. Really help the show out. You can do this over at anchor.fm/WDMagicCast/support. You can also find our Patreon page, patreon.com/WDMagicCast, and really help the show out this way as well. You get some cool stuff that way. Also, just go to our merchandise shop, where you can find some cool WD Magiccast stuff there. When the logo comes out, and it's coming soon, hint hint, we'll have a lot of new merchandise available to you there. You can find links to all of these in the show notes, because remember, this show is brought to you by listeners like you. I'm going to go with the old proverb today, because I think it is very fitting if we're talking about She-Hulk. And the proverb again being, in Japan, broken objects are often repaired with gold. These flaws is seen as a unique piece of the object's history, which adds to its beauty. Consider this the next time when you feel broken. Always remember, you are special, you are unique. There's no one as wonderful as you in the world. There's no one like you in the world. And you do help make the world a better place because of being you. Never give up, never give in. Do not be afraid to ask for help. Help will be out there for those who need it. Now, I'd like to end this week's show with a quote from Walt Disney himself. Women are the best judge of anything we turn out. Their taste is very important. They are the theater goers. They are the ones who drag the men in. If the women like it, to heck with the men. Again, it's from Walt Disney. Thank you for listening, everyone, and I'll see you next time.